Titans at Steelers tonight.
Yes, sir.
Steelers are actually favorited tonight, believe it or not.
That might mean there's some value in that Tennessee money line, is what I'm hearing.
It may be biased, but I don't know.
I mean, listen, I love the Steelers, but you know who I'm falling for even more?
Will Levis ain't him.
Will Levis is him.
He's not.
Listen, I was so low on Will Levis coming into the season. I didn't expect him to even really play this season after how the draft night went. But for a guy like him to come in, throw for almost 300 yards and 4 touchdowns in a debut, and throw D-Hop his first touchdown of the season, not including just one, but 3, is impressive. The kind of throws he was making for his 4 touchdowns, it's not like he had like, some 3-4 yard dump off touchdowns. No, he was making throws. That boy was bombing it down the field, and he was doing it accurately.
It was the Falcons.
I understand that, but it's still NFL competition. Will Levis tore them up. What other quarterback has done that to Atlanta this year? Tell me one.
I mean, he was projected a top quarterback and
Fell all
randomly
the
dropped
way
off.
to the top of the second round. But as you guys know, we are here to give out some of our best picks / props for tonight's Thursday night football game.
Yes.
Before we get real deep in the conversation on predictions, we can get into some of these picks and let you know how we're thinking behind these picks. So, do you want to start us off, or you want me to start us off?
I guess I'll start it off since it's a team favorite.
All right, let's hear it.
But good odds. I got Najee Harris for going over 9.5 receiving yards.
Okay.
He's had it in 3 or 4 games when he actually caught a pass. At Houston, he had 1 catch for 32 yards. At the Rams, he had 3 catches for 15. And then at Jacksonville, 5 catches for 42 yards. So,
all right.
And I mean, obviously our offense has been stale, but if we can't get the run game going, we're just going to continue trying screenplays with Najee. So,
okay. So with that being said, I'm not really going to contradict you, I guess, because I like that pick, but I'm going to follow it up with a similar pick. I'm going to go with Najee's running mate, who has been very involved in the pass game this season. I have Jaylen Warren for 3+ receptions is probably my favorite pick of the night, to be honest. He's hit it in 6 of 7 games. He's had either 3 or 4 in those games, and the one game he missed, he still had 2 catches with 5 targets. So very reasonably could have had.
I will
mention
catches. I had in my first parlay, which is a good lean, Warren's rushing yards are also at like 25.
Yeah,
so,
I don't mind that either. The rushing yards scare me because he usually sits between like 15 and 30 in the games that he's played in the rushing category. I also stayed away from passing yards, not for any specific reason, but his over under is currently sitting at sitting at 19.5. I think when I looked, he's hit 19 in like 3 of 7 games, I believe, maybe 4. So I may fade that a little bit tonight, but the 3+ receptions really interest me.
I
think that. I think the odds were like right around like -150 or something. So really good odds for that, for him having hit it in 6 or 7 games.
Even Najee's receiving yards are -110.
Yeah. I expect the run game, or not the run game, the running backs to be involved in the passing game as they have been all season. So we'll kick you guys off with those two. If you want to bounce back here.
I guess next I'll go with something you mentioned. That's D-Hop for 40 alt receiving yards.
Yeah.
He's had it in 6 of their 7 games, and obviously last game first time with Levis, 4 catches for 128 yards, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah. I especially after D-Hop's big game last week, he will be the main target for Will Levis tonight. If you really want my honest opinion, I say he may even crack like 10, 15 targets tonight, if I'm being honest. I know he hasn't been involved in the pass game much this season, but they also haven't had much of a pass game this season with Tannehill back there at quarterback. So Will Levis, after having the day he did with D Hop last week, is going to look his direction even more tonight. So the 40 plus really interests me. Honestly, I did 40 plus to bet the playoff statistics, but I could even, it may sound crazy, but a long shot of the night, I could see him getting up anywhere between the 80 and 90 range as well, which the odds for those are fantastic. So if you're feeling big
Absolutely.
baller tonight and risky, I think 80 plus may be a safer play than 90, obviously, but I expect him to have a big game tonight.
I could see that too.
Um,
Not a bad lean.
not this isn't going to be my pick, but I'm going to add it on to D Hop. If you want to stay away from yardage, I like him also for 4+ receptions. He's hit it in 5 of 7 games. Obviously, hit it last week, but I feel like the reason he had such low receptions last week is because every time he caught the ball, it went to the end zone, so the drives were cut short. Like I said, I expect D Hop to be very involved tonight. If you want to take his reception over his yards, I don't blame you. I would personally stick around maybe 4 or 5, but 4+ is the safe play. Let's see here for my next. For my next pick, I'm gonna bounce over a little bit to the Pittsburgh side of things. This may sound okay. I'm gonna play it with the safer pick here. Even with the return of Deontay Johnson, George Pickens will still be involved in the passing game. He'll still be involved in the offense. I'm gonna go with the safe play here for Pickens. I like him for 3+ receptions. He's hit it in 6 out of 7 games. I think even last week with the return of Deontay Johnson, he still brought in like 6 or 7 targets. He's still going to be a guy for Kenny Pickett. If you want to play his yardage, the best odds that I could find personally were 50+ yards. He's hit it in 4 of 7 games this season. The yardage scares me though because Deontay Johnson last week got 14 targets in that game in his return. So I don't know if he's going to be more involved. I don't know if Pickens' play is going to slightly decrease. I don't expect it to decrease much if it does. But for the safe play, I'd probably stick at like 3+ receptions.
Yeah, it's definitely scary trying to play Pittsburgh's receiving yards right now because they're matching Deontay and Pickens almost like the exact same on odds, and it's hard telling which one's going to get the 4 passes we actually complete tonight.
Yeah, 100%. All right. If you would, do you have any more set picks like that you like?
I have one that I'm set. I don't know his first name, so you may have to help me if you remember. But Okonkwo,
Chikosium Okonkwo.
there we go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't want to butcher that, so
Yeah,
I'll let
Chikosium Okonkwo. Yes,
the
sir.
master of all the random names that come into the league
Hey,
handle
Chikosium's a
that
dog,
part.
baby.
But I have him for over 2.5 receptions. He has it in
Yeah.
4 out of the 5 games he's played. And if you're scared of Levis, I mean, if he has to have a dump off option right there, and again, he's had 4 or 5, and if Levis has to dump it off any out routes, I see him getting at least 4 catches.
Yeah. I like Okonkwo for sure. I think 3 catches is very reasonable for him. That's a safe play.
And just for the over 2.5 receptions, it's minus 130.
What is it?
It's minus 130 just for over 2.5 receptions.
Yeah. That's a very safe play. Then I like that. When I looked at it, I saw that he's hit it in 5 of 7. Maybe the one game I saw, I don't know exactly what I saw, but yeah, I like him for 3+ for sure. Now I do have some leaner picks, some picks that I like, but I'm not super heavy on. My biggest one, I think it's going to be everyone's biggest one tonight. Just kind of see how he plays. I like Will Levis's over tonight. Or even if you're scared of playing the over, I know 200 for him is quite a bit. He hit it last game. Obviously, he was slinging the rock. But Pittsburgh defense is a lot better than Atlanta's defense. I will say that. If you don't feel safe playing his yardage, I like him for 1+ touchdown. I think the odds were like minus 220 on 1 passing touchdown for him, which I think is very doable, and you can throw that into a parlay to help you. Uh, that's my biggest leaner for tonight, though. If you want to play it safe, 1+ touchdown by Will Levis. If you want to get a little risky, I like his over on passing
I,
yards.
I like that to kind of mention a little lean towards the D Hop touchdown because, again, Pittsburgh's D line and TJ Watt are tough, but the
Yeah,
secondary is what we lack.
yeah.
So if
I
someone's going to get in the end zone, it could most definitely could be a D Hop.
Oh, for sure. I was gonna save that a little later, but D Hop's my favorite anytime touchdown pick for tonight for sure. You got a leaner you like?
I think if I had to go anytime touchdown, I like Derrick Henry. I could see him also getting a little swing route. But again, like you said, our top anytime touchdown pick would probably have to be D Hop just because
For sure.
the D line and TJ Watt are the toughest part of our defense. And if Levis can stick to being somewhat consistent, D Hop's probably the top target.
After seeing that man go for 3 touchdowns last week, it's gonna be hard for Levis to look in any other person's way. Like, I'm not saying Levis is gonna have the game he had last week, but if he can get it in the end zone once, it's more than likely gonna be to D Hop.
And he did it 4 times last week.
Yeah,
So.
that's what I'm saying. I will mention. Do you have another pick you want to mention?
No, you go ahead.
Outside of anytime touchdowns, I have 2 long stretches that I like for anytimes, but my next lean pick that I kind of like, don't hate, just kind of scares me with how much he's played. Deontay Johnson had a big game last week. Like I mentioned a few minutes ago, he had 14 targets last week with 8 catches for like 85 yards.
Yeah.
I have him in the 3 games that he's played. So receiving yards wise, my favorite line would be 50 plus. I know that's a lot, not really a lot, but for a Steelers receiver like we've mentioned, but he has hit it in 2 out of 3 games that he's played, and in the third game that he played, he hit 48, so he was 2 yards off of 50. And I also like him for 5+ receptions. Obviously, like I said, he had 8 last week with 14 targets. I don't think that's going to drop very much. 14 targets is a lot for a main receiver, and obviously with the way the running game's been, you can't really lean on Najee like you could last year. So
Yeah.
he's hit 5+ in 2 out of 3 games as well, and in the game he didn't hit it, he had 3. Um, so that's another leaner pick that I don't like that one to be a guaranteed pick, but I do like that one, somewhat a little bit.
I would mention as a lean, the Steelers are 1-6 against the over and under. So that is a potential play, but I also feel like 35 is a trap set
Yeah,
by FanDuel, so I don't like that. So
yeah, yeah. I personally, I'll probably stay away from the over under tonight. I don't like. I've learned when you're betting, when you get into over unders and spreads is throwing them into parlays is when you tend to
oh yeah.
throw things away. I do have 2 anytime touchdowns that I like, sort of what on the Steelers side of things. Um, I'm gonna stick with the trend. I know Pickens might be, the main guy everybody looks to get the ball in the end zone for Pittsburgh. But my favorite tonight is Deontay Johnson. I say that for 2 reasons. Like I mentioned earlier, 14 targets. I'm going to mention it the whole time. That's a lot of targets for a guy coming back from injury. If he's going to be that involved tonight, I think if the Steelers get in the end zone, Deontay might be the one to find his way there. He hasn't scored since he came back. Obviously, I think he's due for a return touchdown. And what better way to do it than on Thursday Night Football?
From a Steelers fan perspective, my top Steelers anytime touchdown would have to be Najee Harris.
See, I don't know. Listen.
Just because the minute we get in the end zone, I could see us having 3 run plays and we're 3 and out every time we make it to the red zone.
I personally am fading. I literally put on my paper probably stay away. I'm fading Najee big time. I don't trust Najee. I put on here one single line. If you're a Najee fan, I have him at 25+ rushing yards. I know it's real low and it's real basic, but he's hit that in 6 or 7 games.
He's
So if you want to play,
inconsistent.
yeah. He personally scares me a lot. So I'll probably stay away from Najee. You're the Steelers fan though, so I mean, if you like Najee, he definitely has a chance of getting in. I'm not saying it's not. James Mounts, big game from Pickens coming. I could
Yes,
see it, my man,
sir.
for sure. I like Pickens. He's been our guy coming out of Georgia for a while, but just Deontay coming back off an injury and getting 14 targets scares me. For Pickens' involvement. But yeah, Deontay's my favorite anytime. Obviously, Pickens, is a safe pick for an anytime touchdown. But my long shot of the night, I know I gave you guys a long shot last week. I'll give you another one this week. My long shot, he's only had one touchdown on the season, but it's Jalen Warren is my long shot touchdown tonight for the Steelers. I know you mentioned Najee, but I feel like Jalen Warren is just getting more and more involved in the offense. Obviously, he's pretty consistent in the involvement, but he's up to what, maybe 4 or 5 carries a game now. But his involvement in the pass game is what excites me a lot. I could see him
Absolutely.
down there on the 5-10 yard line, throw a screen route to Jalen Warren, and then pop
He's
himself in the end zone.
a lot of the play action and slant plays. So, I mean, to break big, he's the big contender.
100%.
And, I mean, Pickett, he's scary. We've been very inconsistent.
Yeah.
It's scary when you're betting, but he's had big yards against big teams.
Oh yeah.
230 against LA. For some reason, 73 against Jacksonville.
Yeah.
They're decent.
I don't know
But
what happened.
San Fran to start the season, 232 yards and a touchdown. Cleveland, 222 yards and a touchdown. Las Vegas Raiders, 235 yards, 2 touchdowns. He had 114 against Houston, kind of a dud. But then Baltimore came back at 224 and a touchdown.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I have him on here for if you want to take Pickett 200 plus as the safe play. He's hit it in 5 out of 7 games, like you kind of just mentioned, throwing off some stats. So I wouldn't completely fade Pickett. Obviously, the passing game is kind of the Steelers' offense, unfortunately, with not much of a run game behind Najee.
yeah,
But
the biggest conversation around the Steelers, I feel like fan-wise and like close conversation is, will Warren take Najee's job?
yeah,
Because Najee's been so inconsistent and laying duds, and then Warren, when he gets the little breakouts he does, 20, 35 yards. So it's like, oh, maybe he has potential.
I like Warren. I do. I love Warren a lot, bro. I liked Najee so much last year. It just seems to me he's lazy, bro. I don't think he really cares as much as he could. He's a big guy. He has all the potential in the world, but he just can't put it together, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Oh, but I think that's most things that I looked up and liked for this game. I think we gave you guys some decent picks, some long shots. If you're feeling risky, if you're feeling safe, you got options.
Absolutely. We'll see if Will Levis sticks to what he showed in his breakout game versus Atlanta. We'll see if
Absolutely.
the Steelers can do anything besides 3 and out and punt all game.
I think it'll be a big test for him tonight when it comes to pocket presence. I don't think he was rushed a lot last week.
He
He had,
didn't face a TJ
yeah,
Watt.
he had a lot of time to let things develop or see something that he liked and get the ball out there. But he's gonna have to make quick decisions tonight. I think he'll really be tested having TJ Watt and Cam Hayward and
Joey
Alex Highsmith
Porter
coming at him all
Jr.,
night.
Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yeah, it's gonna be a test for Will. That's why he's a little bit of a leaner tonight. I don't think he's guaranteed 200 yards, but it definitely could happen if he plays like he did last week.
Yeah, not the hardest pick, because if we stop somebody, it may be the game plan for Derrick Henry. So
I
the
will
only
mention
alternative is rely on D-Hop and Mr. Levis.
I had a Derrick Henry line that I liked. I don't think we really mentioned Derrick. I'll throw it out there real quick. My favorite pick for him would be 60 plus all rushing yards. He's hit it in 5 out of 7 games. And keep in mind, even with the passing game from Will Levis last week, he still broke 100. So Derrick Henry is going to get his carries. If he can get past the first level of guys, he could definitely break one off. So I think 60 plus is a decently safe play if you want to bet on Henry.
I like Henry because Henry's 60 plus in every game but one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's good odds and it's a safe line for a guy like Derrick.
We shall see if Mr. James was right, though, and see if Pickens has a big breakout against the Titans.
I could I mean, Pickens is Pickens, bro. You know, anything could happen. I could see Pickens having a game.
Mike Tomlin is 6-1 in the last 7 Thursday night football games.
Oh man.
So
We'll have to wait and see how it goes, man. See if Pickett can put it together tonight.
yes, sir. I like the picks for tonight.
Yes, sir.
So just to recap, we got Najee over his 9.5 receiving yards. We got Okonkwo for his over 2.5 receptions. D-Hop's 40-plus alt receptions. And then what are the 2 sets you had?
Jalen Warren for 3+ receptions and George Pickens for 3+ receptions.
Perfect. And then, of course, all the lanes everybody can go back and check out on their own.
Yes, sir. Gave you guys 5 picks that we like a lot. Gave you a few leaners and gave you our favorite touchdown picks. So
tonight's definitely a big toss-up, so we figured we'd throw out little tips we had and little research we've done.
I'm personally going to stay away from the spreads or the money lines tonight just because you never know how this game's going to go.
And FanDuel's got them real sketchy tonight.
Yeah. So I'm going to stick with my statisticals. And,
a 2.5 spread and a 35 over-under is risky.
Yeah. Very. Oh. But I think that'll do it for our picks. If you guys liked anything you heard, go put together a parlay. Let us know if you hit off any of our picks. We love to see our fans out here making money.
Yes, sir. If you end up watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe because we'll start doing a couple more of these.
Yes, sir. Every primetime game we possibly can. Giving out our favorite picks. We might even start introducing a little Sunday morning. Top 5 picks for the slate of games.
We'll start introducing a Patreon for some VIP picks here soon.
Yeah. And we ain't going to make y'all money for free forever, man. Come on now.
Yeah, exactly. We'll show what we're about here before we introduce the Patreon.
Give you guys
what this is all for.
But yes, like he said, if you're checking us out on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. We obviously produce more content than just these bets, but this is a little segment we got going that we hope you guys will like. And obviously plenty more to come. And I know I said this Monday, and here we are on Thursday.
But now there's no other alternative, baby.
Yeah. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday night, live at 6 o'clock here on Facebook, baby.